A true turning point for the younger generation? A look at how the Charlie Kirk effect and Turning Point USA are influencing Minnesota high school and college campuses despite the threats of violence. Next. Maxx Beeler, the Turning Point USA field representative for the North Star region, is my guest. I know the past month has been an emotional whirlwind for you since Turning Point founder Charlie Kirk was assassinated, so we certainly appreciate you being here. Thank you, Max, for the time.
Yeah, Liz, thanks for having me.
Charlie founded Turning Point on a commitment to identifying, educating, training, and organizing students to promote freedom and faith and restore traditional American values, the very things he dedicated his life to. Since his assassination, there has been talk of the Charlie Kirk effect. Before his assassination in Minnesota alone, Turning Point had 6 high school chapters. There are now 27. There were 7 college chapters. Now there are 23 in Minnesota. Just stunning numbers. But as a field rep here in this area, Max, what are you hearing from students? Why are they signing up?
Yeah, students are signing up because they want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. They want to stand up for their values and beliefs. And like you said, that Charlie Kirk effect is really having people ready to stand up for their beliefs and get out there and finally be outspoken about it. They're tired of hiding in the shadows, and they're finally ready to stand up for what they believe in.
And they're doing that, it seems, in very large numbers. You said just that the student numbers alone, we're now talking about hundreds of students being involved in this movement.
Yeah, we have nearly 600 college students involved across the 23 chapters in Minnesota, and then we have about 150 high school students spread across those chapters as well.
And just this past week, instead of respecting what would have been Charlie's 32nd birthday, students at the University of Minnesota, specifically the DSA, the Democratic Socialist Group, they denounced Charlie Kirk. They praised George Floyd. You were there for this. The video and the photos speak for themselves, but how would you describe that so-called protest that day, Max?
For one, it was absolutely disgusting, disparaging a father and a husband that Charlie was, and he was amazing at both of those things, a man of faith. He fearlessly spread the word of God. So it was really disheartening to see protesting a man who had such high character. But also the protest itself was just so low energy. These people, I don't even think they really believe in what they are doing. They don't have any enthusiasm for what they do or say.
Nowadays, activism has become ingrained in academia. It seems protests should be expected, no matter their rhyme or lack of reason. But along with the protests against Turning Point and its members and leaders like yourself, there have been these growing threats of violence. Alpha News recently reported on a second round of death threats against Turning Point student members at the University of Minnesota Duluth campus. Police are investigating that matter there, but what can you tell us about all of this?
Yeah, I think it's extremely unfortunate about where our culture is, that those are things that you get yelled at and death threats for on college campuses. The college campuses are supposed to be the marketplace of ideas, right? You're supposed to come there and hear different opinions and things like that, not to shout other people down, let alone threaten them with bodily harm or death based on other people's opinions. So I think they're absolutely disgusting, and I love to chat with anyone who has a varying opinion, and so do our students.
If students want to form their own opinions for themselves, they want to start or join a Turning Point chapter at their school, what's the best way to go about doing so, Max?
Yeah, go to tpusastudents.com, fill out that Get Involved form, and a representative like me, most likely me, will get in touch with you and help you get involved with the chapter that already exists at your college, or help you start one.
Well, Maxx Beeler, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for the work you're doing. Really encouraging to hear those numbers, how Turning Point is growing all across the state. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Liz.
And that will do it for this episode of Liz Collin Reports. We will see you next time.